Hi everyone, I'm Naoki and today we'll be discussing about indices. Just to make sure, the word indices is the plural of index. To be more specific about today's class, we will be comparing several countries with indices of infant mortality, education, nutrition, and income. I would like to define the meaning of these four terms and with examining spatial distribution of these indices. Firstly, infant mortality rate is the number of deaths of infants under 1 year old in a given year per thousand lives births in the same year. And this rate is often used as an indicator of the level of health in a country. Let's take a look on this map. The country with darker blue has higher infant mortality rate. As you can see, African and Asian countries tend to have higher infant mortality rates than Western countries that are well developed. The data were collected in 2014 and the top country that had the highest infant mortality rate was Afghanistan with 117 babies per thousand live births. That's a lot. From the spatial distribution of this map, we can see that poor countries tend to have higher infant mortality rate because they don't have satisfied facilities for childbirth. That means we can also say that countries with high infant mortality rate are poor countries. Next is indices of education, but we will use literacy rate to explain this since it has no universal definitions. In case the literacy rate is the in this case, literacy rate is the percentage of people who is older than 15 years old and can understand the information on literacies. Let's take a look on the map. The country with lighter red has lower literacy rate. As you can see, there are several Middle African countries that have literacy rate of less than 28.7%, but most of the other countries have literacy rate of higher than 43.3%. Low levels of literacy and education in general can impede the economic development of a country in the current rapidly changing technology-driven world. In conclusion, low developed countries tend to have lower literacy rates than countries that are developing or developed. Then, here comes the indices of nutrition. Meanwhile, there are several different indices of nutrition. We will focus on the relation between malnutrition, prevalence, and height for age. The scale is the percentage of children under 5. Prevalence of child malnutrition is the percentage of children under age 5 whose height for age is more than 2 standard deviations below the median of the international reference population ages 0 to 59 months. To say more easily, higher percentage means more children with malfunction. For children up to 2 years old, height is measured by recumbent length. For older children, height is measured by stature while standing. The data are based on the WHO's new child growth standards released in 2010s. Here's the graph for malnutrition prevalence, and some regions aren't scaled because the percentage is very low. However, the size of the red circles in the map represents the percentage of malnutrition prevalence. As you can see, the red circles are gathered in the middle and southern Africa, southern and western Asia, and couple Latin America. Countries that are located in this region tend to have low GDP, low income, and many poverties. Therefore, we can conclude that countries with a lot of malnutrition prevalence are mostly poor. Finally, indices of gross national income is the total value of goods and services produced within a country together with the balance of income and payments from or to other countries. Here's a graph for gross national income and all over the world. The scale is divided into 4 sections here, where low income means 1,005 US$ or less per year, and high income means 12,275 US$ per year. As you can see, many African and Asian countries have low gross income, when Western countries and some other countries have high gross income. It's important to mention that these rates correspond with the development of the country. People living in developed countries have higher income. Okay, as an overall conclusion, poor countries tend to have higher infant mortality rate and malnutrition prevalence, and lower literacy rate and gross national income. And also, with comparing these 4 maps of indices, we can see the trend of many African, Asian, and some Latin countries having the characteristic of typical poor country. This is very important. In contrast, Western Oceanian and some other countries have the opposite characteristic of a poor country, and in fact, these countries are well developed. That's it for the lesson today, and thank you for listening.